I just finished another workout with Noelia, my coach, and what do I have to say about today? It was unplanned. She said she's coming at 12:30, and I had yoga until 1, and I said, okay. I didn't know what to do, whether to finish yoga or to come here, and I went on instinct, and I finished the yoga class. And then, after I finished the yoga class, it turned out that my trainer wasn't even ready yet. So then I got some coffee, probably not the best thing to do, but I did it anyway. And the reason is, when I do as much as I do, there are days I get tired, days I don't want to do it. Sometimes unorthodox things are okay and necessary for the process to get me to continually go. So long as this doesn't become a habit, it's okay. It might become a habit, but that's not the spot that I'm at right now. So going back to the training thing, yeah, and then we just did a 1-hour workout. It was pretty good. It doesn't feel like much to me now, given the repetitiveness and so forth we've been doing it with. So my goal, and I think that anybody's goal when they should be exercising, is not to become like a bodybuilder. It's not to become like huge and big and all that. I think that the goal is to, well, it's not to beautify your body, it's to make it strong. But a strong body it has a certain grace about it. It has a certain beauty because of the way that it moves, the way that it looks. And they should try to find their highest self through the work at the gym and through the work at yoga, which I think is very important too, from the standpoint of aligning mind, body, and spirit, and from the standpoint of making yourself flexible in many, many ways that you wouldn't train otherwise, so that you can use all this strength for good purpose. Whatever your strength, whatever it is that you do, I don't know of a single situation where being stronger is a detriment. I don't know of a single situation where being stronger can hurt you in any way. And in almost all situations, it can help you. Whether you're burning midnight oil for your job, or whether you're doing anything, carrying a child, carrying the weight, figuratively or emotionally speaking, of your family, carrying the weight of whatever your burdens may be, the strength to do it lies within you. And again, I did this in my vlog yesterday, but the world was created by so many people. I mean, the man-made stuff of the world was created by so many people applying their strength, applying their intelligence, applying their digits, their opposable thumbs and their brains in ways that have been constructive and conducive to creativity. And we stand here today in 2019 living in the product of all that. But what's next? What ways do things get pushed forward even further? What things come up today that people 100 years ago definitely couldn't imagine, but we today can't imagine? Well, whatever does come up, ideally, should be a reflection of human strength. It should be a reflection of humans at the peak of their abilities, and the peak of their minds, the peak of their bodies, the peak of everything. And I hope that is the way of things going forward. And again, body is not the only part. These are gym cardio diaries. They're not life diaries, right? But it is such a vital part. I mean, my father died at the age of 74, and he told me the most ridiculous thing. I said, how come you don't exercise? He said, I exercised so much until I was 22 years old that it's lasted me until now. And he's in his 60s telling me that. People believe stuff like this. People think stuff like that. People make excuses for why they don't exercise. And he died of completely preventable causes. If he had been fit, if he had exercised, if he had taken this seriously, he'd be alive today, and I might be with him right now, and making these videos with him in the background, working out as a 76-year-old person. But that's not how it worked. So I'm taking example of stuff I've seen that's failed, and I'm taking example of stuff I've seen that succeeded, and I'm making sure to be the latter, and I'm making sure to spread word of that other people can also be the latter, to be the success. So what else? I don't know. That's all I have to say for now. If I think of more, I'll turn the camera back on and talk more. Okay, I have more to say. The environment can be looked at in one of two ways. One of which is a hostile environment, which is not designed to help you survive, right? There are germs, there's bacteria, there are a lot of things that can threaten your physical existence. And you must be strong and forthright to make sure that you survive. And then there's the other way of looking at it, which is that life is here to support and nourish you, support your dreams and passions, and see you through, right? Either one, there's certainly a validity to both. As far as the first one goes, the hostile environment thing, the life becomes more hostile when you're not doing the things necessary to take care of yourself, right? So let's say I were to gain a lot of weight, which by the way I did years ago. I was 182 pounds. I'm 150 something now, and I wasn't taking care of myself. Let's say you gain a lot of weight, okay? Then what happens? Next step is knees get a lot of pressure, okay? And then you may get tendonitis or something. And so then you've gained weight, you've tendonitis. What's the best way to lose weight? Okay, there's diet and then there's exercise. There's cardio exercise mainly. What's the best way to do cardio? You get on the treadmill, right? How do you get on the treadmill if your knee hurts? And then it becomes, see, so the problem, it gets rid of the solution. You see, so then there's no solution, then it becomes a spiral and it goes downwards. To break out of a situation like that is much, much, much harder than to never have incurred that situation to begin with, or in the contrast, to have been working in the opposite direction where every part of your body becomes stronger, right? And the more strong you become, the more resilient you become, the more it seems that life actually does support you. Because, you know why? You can move gracefully, freely, smoothly, nicely. Getting up, moving, it's not a drudgery, it's not miserable. It's not miserable to move around. And I can see this in myself more from yoga than from fitness, because I'm 27, like I'm not old, but I'm not young, right? It depends who you ask, but I'm not as young as I used to be when everything was limber and nice just by default. And since I started feeling the ages of the effect of aging in my mid-20s because of bad health habits and not exercising properly. And I had a tennis coach 2 years ago, and he pretty much said that your tennis will not get better until your fitness gets better. And I don't think he actually saw a way out for me based on how unfit that I was. And it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of work. Yet somehow the work is easier now, right? Hostile, hard, I played tennis in the sun 2 years ago. It's hostile, it's hard, it's beating on my skin. The walls are closing in on me. It feels horrible. But I pushed through that so many times, and I'm here today, and I can take the sun, I can take it easy. Some days when I'm really tired, it becomes really hard again, but hardly much, right? So what was my point in saying that? Yeah, so at the age of 27, I feel younger than I did through all of my mid-20s because of the work that I'm doing. Proper diet, good healthy stuff, no junk, right? Or at least not to, like once you're here or there. And then just doing this, doing what I'm doing with yoga, with fitness, it makes a big deal, makes a big difference. I don't even feel like it's a drudgery anymore to get up and move around. I used to. Can you believe that? I used to. And it'll only continue. It's a roller coaster that goes up, because there's nothing telling me that I can't make my body and make my life better day by day by day by day by day. So in that way also I have energy. Okay, so this is moving into the second worldview of everything's here to nourish and support you and so forth, right? I got cast as King Oberon in Seminole State College's Midsummer Night's Dream production. I didn't even ask for this role. Like Jordan, he said, "Hey Jay," he's a professor there, he says, "Jay, we have there's a role. You want it?" I'm like, okay. I sent a photo of myself. I talked to the director. She says, "I think you could be King Oberon. Come by and see." I came by, I read a few lines, and I had it, right? And that's not how my normal experience was with plays. I go to play auditions like years ago when I was actually trying to be a professional actor, and I'd go and I'd read, and then I wouldn't get a role. And then one time I got cast as a horse in Equus, in one of the horse ensemble things, and I didn't actually do it, but here I am today, and this thing just fell in my lap. Now I have the energy, I have the strength, the wherewithal to push and push and push and push and push. And now I'm an actor in a play, and it's a production put on outside of me, yet I'm a part of it. That's not life nourishing and supporting me through almost no effort of my own, really. I think the effort happened in here. The effort happened through my whole life, right? I pushed through the effort. I made myself strong, right? That gets rid of all of the threats of bacterium and so forth, right? If I were fragile, a bacteria might infect me more easily, right? Or I might get a tendonitis or something. But these things aren't happening, you see? So my point is, the course of destiny within a person, the course of what's going to happen within a person, that choice, the choice of how life is going to feel, exists within you. It exists within your efforts. It exists within strengthening yourself to the greatest degree. And then there's nothing to worry about or fear. There's just more and more amazing work to be done, and then life nourishes you and takes you to very, very great and amazing places. But if that path isn't taken, if it's the non-strong path, life can become very hostile very fast and become a great drudgery. So there are two options, and if you were to take, like Morpheus when he's giving Neo the pills, the red pill and the blue pill, Neo, it was very easy. He could take one pill or the other. It was a mental jump from one or the other, one of truth, one of falsehood. But nonetheless, it was as simple as choosing one or the other. Very simple, right? It didn't take much to choose the right thing. Similarly, if I were to give you two options, right? The good option and the bad option, and it was as easy as grabbing one of my two fingers, which would you take? It's easy. Just grab one, grab the other. That's it. There's no thinking involved. One or the other. You choose a good one, right? Easily. Anybody would, right? The issue when it comes to this whole fitness and strength thing is that people don't perceive it as easy, and it's not as easy. But it actually is. It actually is. If you have strength in your heart, let's say this is the good one, the middle finger, right? You can choose that one just as easily as picking it out right there, and then do the work necessary to earn it. It's not as big of a deal. It's not such a thing that requires all thinking, planning, getting ready for it, all that stuff, you know? Like, I have a friend, you know, and I said, hey man, I want to help you get fit. And he's not fit, right? And he said, I really want to be fit, badly. I just don't know how. And I said, I'll help you. And you don't need to know how. Just listen to me. I'll send you workouts, I'll send you plans, you know? Just do them. And maybe I'll pop in every now and then and do stuff with you, right? And then you need to go ahead and do it. That's what it is. Find friends. Go to the gym. Don't even go to a gym. Work out in your room. You only need like a few square feet to do push-ups and squats and stuff. Then you just need to go outside and run. That's the beginning. You know, you don't need to do stuff correctly. It's not a big deal. But it turns into a big thing over the course of time. It changes into a life-changing thing. A truly, at the core of your being, life-changing thing. Because from the hostile worldview, if you don't do your part, things get hostile. You become susceptible to a lot of things. I don't want that. I don't want that for me. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anybody. That's why I make these videos. And that's why I'm speaking about this kind of impassionedly, because I really believe in this stuff. And I think we have a big difference to make in the world through our own selves. Dr. G, doctor, surgeon guy on my video last year, he said, your best contribution to humanity is to make yourself the best fighting machine you can. And what he meant by fighting machine is the best version of yourself, the best, strongest version of yourself. Then you can contribute. Then you can be an asset and not a liability. And not even neutral, but a true asset. That's what we want. We want a generation of heroes. We want a generation of assets. We want a generation of people who are strong and can contribute to themselves, to the elderly, to the poor, to whomever, in whatever way they can, sourcing from their own strength, not sourcing from some thoughts or ideas, not sourcing from expecting other people to do stuff, but sourcing from their very living self. And again, fitness is an amazing, amazing step on that path. So that's all I have to say for today.